White House shocker, John Bolton bolts. Amazon workers walk out. And the NRA targets San Francisco. I'm Jamal Simmons, and this is why you should care. Reports that National Security Advisor John Bolton and President Donald Trump never quite saw eye to eye were just confirmed by President Trump's tweet today. Trump tweeted, "I informed John Bolton last night that his services are no longer needed at the White House. I disagreed strongly with many of his suggestions, as did others in the administration. And therefore, I asked John for his resignation, which was given to me this morning. I thank John very much for his service. I'll be naming a new National Security Advisor next week." This story just broke, and reporters are still tracking down all the details. But the Trump tweets weren't the final word. Apparently, John Bolton was watching this on TV, and he wasn't happy with the coverage of his departure. So he texted Fox News host Brian Kilmeade, who was on air, and he reported what John Bolton said, that he resigned. He wasn't fired, apparently. Oh, the drama. For those who are watching this wondering, who is John Bolton? John Bolton is not Josh Bolton, who was a senior George W. Bush White House official, and he's not Michael Bolton, who the president once confused him with.
It's being discussed right now. Mike Bolton, as you know, is in Russia.
John Bolton was the president's national security advisor and was former ambassador to the United Nations under President George W. Bush. Widely regarded as a national security hawk, it was also widely reported that the president ribbed Bolton for wanting to attack countries instead of negotiating with them, sometimes in front of other world leaders. We'll keep following this. Check the pages of thehill.com and Rising on tomorrow morning for more on this story. Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, which has been keeping the heat on President Trump. And now activists are using rising climate temperatures to put some heat on Jeff Bezos and Amazon. Later this month, youth climate activists around the world will participate in a walkout to pressure governments and corporations to act on the growing climate crisis. Activists and organizations from over 150 countries have already pledged to participate in the protest. Yesterday, about 1,000 Amazon employees announced they are joining the movement too.
I'm walking out on September 20th because the world's most beautiful landscapes are disappearing, and a decade from now, they may not even exist.
I'm walking out.
I'm walking out.
I'm walking out.
I'm walking out on September 20th because I feel climate change is the most imminent threat to humanity.
The workers organized with a larger group, Amazon Employees for Climate Justice, are protesting the tech giant's environmental policies. They call for zero carbon emissions by 2030, and they want the shopping behemoth to stop doing deals with fossil fuel companies and quit funding climate-denying politicians. The announcement letter Amazon employees sent stated that Amazon funded 68 members of Congress last year who voted against climate action 100% of the time. Now here's why you should care. Politicians and corporations around the globe are wrestling with what to do about climate change, and everyday citizens are getting into the fight. Jeff Bezos is regarded as a liberal hero for taking on President Trump, but Amazon has faced lots of pressure for workplace conditions, negative impact on local businesses, and now its climate policies. On the climate crisis, activists seem to be willing to spread the pain. The National Rifle Association has its sights set squarely on the city of San Francisco, but not for the reason you may think. The nation's largest gun lobbying group isn't targeting a city law limiting the kinds of weapons San Franciscans can own, nor is it taking issue with California's red flag law. No, the NRA is suing the city by the Bay after San Francisco declared the group a domestic terrorist organization in a resolution that was passed last week. The lawsuit, filed Monday in the U.S. District Court for the District of Northern California, accuses city officials of violating the gun lobby's free speech rights and claims that the city is seeking to blacklist anyone associated with them. The NRA's lawyer called the resolution an assault on all advocacy organizations across the country. Now here's why you should care. Despite being controversial, the NRA is one of the most powerful lobbying groups in the country. They've almost single-handedly blocked any and all potential national legislation on gun control over the past 20 years. And now, as the Senate weighs whether or not to bring new measures to a floor vote, the gun lobby is picking a fight with one of President Trump's favorite punching bags. Despite scores of innocent victims that have been killed or maimed in mass shootings on seemingly a weekly basis, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has said he'll only bring gun reform legislation to the floor if the president backs the bills. By the way, that is not how the framers meant for the system to work. Congress can pass anything it wants, and if the president vetoes it, they can override that veto. Anyway, it's the NRA versus San Francisco. Your move, Frisco. Thanks for watching Hill TV on YouTube. Be sure to click subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we post new videos, and head to thehill.com for all the latest political news.